What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Two Guys Rambling. Another episode. I'm Matt.
I'm Javi.
Oh my God, I wonder if the audio even got that. Today we are going, as you can see my beautiful, beautiful books up here. Today we are going to be talking about some book recommendations from the two guys. Some stuff that y'all should go and read, look at. But before we're going to get on that, make sure you comment down below if you agree on any of our selections, if you've read any of our selections as well too. And then make sure you subscribe, you check out the Patreon and do all those good things. Find us on TikTok. And everywhere you else get your, I don't think that's English. I don't even know what the hell I just said. Make sure you go find us on all social media aspects. You can find us everything down below. We're going to do something a little different today. We're always trying out new things. Javi likes to give everything the old college try, and that's what we're doing here today. So today we're going to do a little bit of rambling in the front because we've got some crazy stories, and I actually have, Javi, a story that I know is going to blow your mind, and it's out by the ranch. Okay.
Oh, the bear.
No.
Okay, let's cut in light and then get into it.
So we're going to do our cut in our light, what we're smoking today. We're going to do all that good stuff. But if you don't want to hear the rambling, go down to the bottom. There's going to be a marker where you can jump to the next part where we're going to be talking about the books, and you can do that. Not yet. Now you can go ahead and do it. Go ahead and click 4. I am going to be smoking what?
A joke really quick. As you can tell, I have no books up here, okay? That's because Matt hates trees. All of my books are on something called the Kindle app on an iPhone, all right?
All the trees.
And I'm an iPad books. Kid, you know? You gotta look
all the trees, all the books. Make them into...
all of them.
All of them. Cut them down. Today I am smoking a... This is what Matt Booth likes to call a little unobtainium. That's pretty good, right?
That was pretty good.
The marketing this guy does, dude, blows my mind all the time. This is a Johnny Tobacco Knot, and it at the end we'll discuss our cigars and what we think about our cigars. But this is like a Connecticut shade. So good. So flavorful. I love these.
I'm smoking an L40 from Jew Estate, part of their legal line.
Is it called L40?
Yeah.
Oh, it's L40.
Yeah.
I was a little Mexican over here, man. I was thinking L-E-L.
Oh, okay. Hey, the first time I smoked one of these, though, I was like 19.
Really?
Yeah, it was when it was federally legal to smoke.
Yeah.
When you were 18.
Back in the good old days.
Back in my day, I used to be able to smoke cigarettes at 18.
So I guess while we're doing our cut and our light, I'll tell you about this. So did you know in Mountain Home, which is there are bears going around there. And what was it, a game warden? Game warden hit one, right?
No, it was a girl. It was a girl. She was driving.
Oh, I thought it was the game warden that hit it.
Civilian, dog.
Oof. Anyways, so did you know in Mountain Home, a little ways away from it, a little over yonder, okay? There was a guy that would abduct. There's a guy.
Okay.
There was a guy that would abduct people hitchhiking.
And that's why you need hear this.
Where did it go? There was this guy that would kidnap hitchhikers.
Like women, or it didn't matter?
It didn't matter. It was all kinds of people.
But like recent?
Hold on. It was known as Slave Ranch in Texas.
Slave Ranch.
Yes, because he would kidnap them, take them, and he would make keychains. Cedar keychains. Right? Okay? So this is known as Slave Ranch.
Under threat of violence?
Yeah. So they were never, they were acquitted of any murders. Can I say murders? I can say murders, right?
Yeah.
They were acquitted of all murders. Nobody was found guilty of any murders. But they did find bodies on the ranch. And
because they couldn't.
So with the name Slave Ranch, when do you think this took place? Like, actually, I was thinking 1880.
Early 2000s, mid 90s.
1980. 1984 is when they got caught. There's no telling how long they were doing it before. 1980.
What the fuck? Slave Ranch.
Slave Ranch.
But
real
where
thing.
in Mountain Home? Well, you see, no one hitchhikes anymore for good reason, you know? Get absolutely murdered.
Blew my mind, dude.
Bro, that's terrifying.
Blew my mind.
You're just chilling like, oh, stick a thumb out. Hey, I need a ride. You're now going to be making keychains.
Cedar keychains out of all things to fucking make, dude. This is, God almighty.
And no one's going to find you.
Not at all.
Jesus Christ.
Good time, huh? There you go. There's your little Texas history for you there.
Oh, and then in the hill country, someone hit a black bear.
Yeah, huge black bear.
Mm-hmm. And so if you don't think Texas has bears, we got bears. There's bears in the goddamn woods. We got bears. So the question is, does a bear shit in the woods?
Oh, we're about to find out. Javi's gonna
right,
find a
and
bear.
we'll be back. No, right?
Javi's gonna find a bear.
So
and watch it take a shit in the woods.
Right, I recorded just for the on Patreon exclusive. Whoa,
a bear really does shit in the woods.
That is stupid. So fun thing that happened to me was I went to, because you know Peter Piper has buffet, dog.
Dude, I
during
didn't
the
even
week.
know that
Yeah.
Peter Piper had a buffet.
So Peter Piper has a buffet, and
it's delicious.
People who live in San Antonio, I was on one of the ones on the south side, not city based. That should clue you in. And I was sitting there with my dad, my twin, and my little sister. We were eating, and there was a huge line at the front area, right? Now here's a boom and glass shatter. So at first, and then we look over there, people are covering their ears, and it was a loud bang, like boom, like gunshot loud. And so people are covering their ears, and we all look over there. And at first we're assuming like, oh, we saw some kids fucking around. One of them knocked over like a display or something. And you know where the salads are?
Yeah.
They hit the glass right there and it shattered, right?
Yeah, shattered, yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, maybe one of them did that, whatever. Well, like a mom comes and sits down with her kids. People are touching their kids, checking their kids. And she starts crying. And I'm like, maybe she just got scared because it was so loud. Then another mom who was really close to where the glass shattered took her kids outside with their husband. And they took them to the car, and I was like, oh, well, maybe her kid shattered it. Yeah. Right? Maybe they're embarrassed. And then they came back inside, and then she was like touching her kid and everything. And that kid was right underneath where it shattered, right? So I was like, oh, wow, that's wild. So my dad goes up there because he has to, because some of the wings that they got had glitter in them.
Okay.
So he was like, what the? So he goes up there, and the manager.
I'm gonna make this one sparkle.
Right? Just for them. He's sweeping up glass, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. My dad looks over. He's standing over a pistol. So someone somehow dropped. It was like a piece of shit fucking 380. Dropped it out of their pocket some way or holster. It fell. Probably a Taurus, not drop proof. It fell, went off, and the round went above a kid's head where he was standing right underneath that glass display, shattered that. And nobody knows who dropped the gun, except we're speculating it was like this couple and their kids because they bounced.
That's terrifying.
Immediately.
Dude. That is crazy.
And bro, it was so loud, like my ear was ringing. And at first I was like, because you know.
Yeah, you just jump into it, right? Like,
I was like, what the fuck? And then I was looking around and I was like, oh, well, there's fucking. I mean, I was like, maybe it's just a balloon or something. Then I saw the glass and I was like, oh, maybe someone dropped something. But.
Nope.
Yep.
Somebody dropping guns. Guns at Peter Piper.
Of course, it had to be the south side, you know?
I heard that the one at Brook City Base is the one to go. They say it's dead. Like that's word on the street is that it's dead all the time.
They probably make some good pizza, though.
Yeah, no, for real, dude. Especially if it's dead and ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody there. Did you have another story? You had another story, right?
Oh, yeah. I was in Destin recently. Destin, Florida. And,
Destin is now safe. Javi fought all the sharks.
No, I failed. No. I failed fighting them because what happened back to back was one of the days we did a beach day. So we were on the beach for like 5-6 hours. As we were leaving, we saw them put up 2 red flags, which means no swimming. You can't swim, right? I'm like, why is that? Oh, well.
Javi was like, red means go. And
right?
ran into the water.
Well, I was like, why is that? Well, we're leaving anyway. So, you know you can't drive on the beaches in Florida?
Oh, really?
Not at all.
But they're pretty close to the roads, though, right?
Yeah, stupid close. Yeah. Like, well, there's some of them that aren't, like the National Seashore isn't. Yeah, there's like a little parking lot, and then you have to go. Anyway, see the 2 red flags, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. We go to the condo we're staying at. We get food, and I was scrolling, I think, Reddit.
Crazy.
Right, crazy. I think I was scrolling Reddit, right? And shark attack.
Yeah.
Shark attack
a
mile
video
from where we were. And then 3 more people. So it was 2 more people after that one girl she lost like her arm from the elbow down, got bit in the hip.
Jesus.
And then another girl also got bit, and her friend. So back to back, 3 shark attacks, all close to each other. And I was like, damn, bro. I was like, right there, dog. But it's just wild. Like most people, it ruins your beach day because you're just chilling and like, hey, nothing gonna happen. Shark attack.
Shark attack.
And it was just weird that it was just 3 girls back to back.
They were all girls?
Yeah.
Wow. You heard it here first. 2 guys rambling. Sharks are sexist now.
Right?
They didn't like the last 3 Star Wars movies because they had a girl in them.
I don't think anybody did.
And nobody liked them because they sucked. Terrible.
Fun Florida fact. You can smoke only cigars on the beaches. No,
that is fantastic.
No pipes, no cigarettes.
Well, you can vape, I'm sure.
It says no vapes, but nobody's gonna force that.
Everybody's gonna have it.
But they said no, only cigars are exempt from the law because a lot of these, because it's state law that they only allow cigars to be smoked on the beaches.
That's
so they
pretty
cannot ban cigars because they're like, bro, this is like our heritage.
Yeah, no, literally.
So have to allow people. So if you're in Florida and you're there for vacation, you can smoke your cigars on the beach.
That's why I want to go to Miami so bad because I want to go to like Little Havana and
do
that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be able to experience that and go to the J.C. Newman factory and
I'd want to go. Oh, and then the cathedral.
Yeah, dude, definitely go see the cathedral. Because you need more butane.
Yeah, here in a
I have some around here, anyways. All right, I think that's it for the rambling aspect of it. So,
and we'll be right back.
Right? If you jumped this part, you did great. You did fantastic, actually, because just what you wanted to hear. We're going to talk about our book recommendations today, and me, the classic nerd that I am, I've got some information for y'all. I did a little research.
A little.
Just check this. Just
bro. Oh my
god! I did just a little research, and then there's Javi's book picks.
Oh, was I supposed to?
It'll make it easier. I had to write some shit down, man, because I'll forget. So both me and Javi are kind of veering off of just books because my first 2 favorite things are both book series. And all 3 of Javi's are book series.
So is the 4th one.
Whatever. You don't like our rules? I mean, fucking bite me. Okay? We'll call it a book series recommendation. Okay? So, except my last book. My last book is an actual book, and you must read it. So, my first recommendation, which when we were going to do this, you had to have known it was going to be my first one because I absolutely love this book series, and it's this behemoth of a stack over here. That's the Dark Tower series. Technically, there's only 7 books, but there's an 8th one that was added in later.
But is it at the very end, the 8th one, or is it somewhere in the middle?
It's somewhere in the middle.
I hate when they do that.
It's pretty good. It didn't ruin it, I don't think. And then, of course, there's always going to be people out there that, well, it sucked. But it's because in the next book, there's a lot of things that they're referencing. So he went back and like showed everybody what he was referencing.
Yeah.
So the Dark Tower series follows Roland Deschan, the last gunslinger on his quest to reach the Dark Tower. It's like a building that is said to literally have doors to every universe that's out there. Roland's world is known as Midworld, has moved on. They keep every time you read.
Are we giving spoilers or no?
I tried to take out as many spoilers as I could. Why'd you read a spoiler up here?
No, it's just gonna be hard.
No, it's really hard. And I'm probably gonna drop a few spoilers. So, spoiler alert. I think I'm gonna put. Maybe I'll put it there. I don't know. Depends how much I want to edit tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Roland is joined by a group of companions from our world, right? And the group is I didn't put it there. The group is known as the Katit, which is group bound by destiny, and they aid him on his journey. The Katit includes Jake Chambers, who is a small child. He's a boy. He's a young boy. Okay. Eddie and Susan Dean, who are from, and they're all from New York, but they're all from different times in New York. So, Susanna Dean is from like old days. Like she's black. So she's like, goes around very confidently, I guess, because she was also part of like the civil rights movement and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Eddie Dean was a drug addict. Yeah. Which is crazy. And he was from like the 70s and what in the world just happened? He's like from the 70s era, and then Jake Chambers is from like the 90s, 80s, 90s era. And then Oi, which is a Billy Bumbler. Okay. It's a
What's
creature.
that?
It's like a dog. It's like a dog.
Why do they
It's
call
like
it
a dog,
a
but
Billy?
because it's not a dog. It's not a dog. It's a type of creature that you find out.
Does it look like a
lives
dog?
in-
You're like,
no,
Javi.
it's got a snout and everything. So no, it's not like a dog at all. And so they face a threat like the Crimson King and his minions, who are trying to destroy the Dark Tower and literally make it crumble. Because the Dark Tower is a place.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like like a fake place. It's a real place. So the series blends elements of the best part of this is that it blends different things, right? Like fantasy, science fiction, horror, and it's like a Western because it's a gunslinger.
So, okay, random question. All right. In this, are they given guns, as in like you achieve it, or can they just in that universe just buy
No,
one?
so if you are no. So guns are like a thing of the past. So when they see them from the gunslingers, it's like,
Oh crap!
yeah, it's like you already know they're a gunslinger, and spoiler, right? Like Jake, Susanna, and Eddie become the last of the gunslingers.
So is it like is a
'Cause Roland
gunslinger
trains them.
like a group?
Is what?
Is like a group?
They're a group, yeah.
So it's like
They're known as the Katit. That's what their group is. The Katit. It's bound by destiny.
so they're the only people who can roll guns.
The gunslingers, yes. Yeah, gunslingers are technically the only ones that are supposed to be able to have guns. There's other times where they find guns or people make gun-like weapons, but they're not guns. And these are old guns. Like they're
Single action.
yeah. We're talking, and that's the cool thing about it, right? Is that it's science fiction because there are robots. There's all kinds of stuff, but and you really you keep hearing the term the world moved on
Yeah.
from Midworld, but like it's used as a term because after whatever apocalyptic thing happened, the world had to move on from it. So we know that it's post-apocalyptic. We know that something happened to this world.
Oh, so it's like if to find a gun's pretty rare.
Very rare. Very rare.
So what are they using? Like swords and stuff?
Everybody else is using like swords or traps or there are some like lightsaber type things in here. Yeah.
So
it's cool.
Do they tell you what apocalypse happened?
You get little bits and pieces, but you don't get like a full story. Yeah. You just know that something did happen. And it's pretty cool because they have like it, and it's a fun read because they have a different language that they speak. It's still English words, but they use them in different ways.
Is it like a Clockwork Orange?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of like that. So that's what the cool thing is. The beam is what binds all the universes together. The power of Ka is destiny, and if you pay attention to Ka, it comes up in a lot of Stephen King work. Ka is always known as like this entity. It's almost destiny, is what it is.
Even it.
Even it. Yeah. And there's a part. Another spoiler. There is a part where Roland like has a dream, and there's a clown running through the woods. And because you have to remember that the Stephen King universe
is connected, right?
It's all connected, but it's all built on the back of a turtle. And the turtle is called like Mature or something like that. Mature or something like that. That's what the turtle's name is. Its nemesis is the Deadlights. which is what it is. It is a creature that like you can't fathom to imagine. That's why it brings itself up as a clown.
So is oh god, tangent. Hold on.
No, super tangent. Yeah.
I was about to ask more questions about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it like the devil?
It's a yes, but it's even more powerful than that. Yeah.
Hey, but all you gotta do is not be afraid of him, and he isn't powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? That's what takes it down. While the core of the story focuses on Roland's quest, the book explores deeper themes of obsession, sacrifice, redemption, and the nature of reality itself. One of the things that's crazy, dude, like, there's one book in here where Roland talks about him growing up, and like you actually go onto one of his dad was the main gunslinger. He was the top of the top. And so,
is Roland good?
Roland's a good guy. The Crimson King is who they're trying to fight.
Does the Crimson King have guns?
They don't need it, but they do. They do. You know, Salem's Lot is tied into this.
What's going on?
A character from Salem's Lot goes into the series.
So essentially, is this to bridge all of his universes together?
Yeah, that's what the Dark Tower is.
So it's like a portal.
It's like a portal. But this is the book. This is Stephen King's opus.
As good as it's gonna get.
That's it. That's what, and he literally says that his work on the tower will never be done. He could live 500 years and he still doesn't feel that the work with the tower would be done. Damn. So they say that there's not going to be any more books like that are a part of the actual Roland and everybody's story, but a lot of the other books tie into the tower. So there's even like other authors that he works with. So I don't even know. Can we talk about Rage?
I don't see why we can't.
So the book Rage, well, there's several things. If you notice on there, the names, it's by a gentleman named Bachman. Have you seen that? That's who the book is by. It's by Bachman. Bachman is Stephen King's like alternative. That's his ghostwriter. So isn't that crazy?
Why is he having ghostwriter? Like, as in, he's a ghostwriter.
Considered.
Well, he's
I don't think it's considered.
I guess he's keeping himself anonymous.
He's keeping himself anonymous, is what he is. Why? I don't know. And he wasn't even the one that came out. It's like people like drew the lines and figured out it was Stephen King. Crazy. So the series was inspired by like Robert Browning's poem Childe Roland to the Dark Tower came. As well as elements of spaghetti westerns, obviously, and then of course Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
Everyone has an element of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, it was such a big staple, man. Like it's
one of the best book series.
Yeah,
ever
it
made.
is important, you know. So King does write himself into the series, which was one of the most mind-boggling things ever. As a character in one of the final books of the Dark Tower. After he was nearly killed in 1999.
Wait, so he's done writing? How long has it been done writing the Dark Tower series?
We'll get there. Oh shit! Yeah, we'll get there. So this allowed him to directly interact with Roland and the Khatit. This is a real life event that he literally was on a jog and almost got hit by a car. And it's what inspired him to go back and finish the Dark Tower.
Hey, yo, we gotta knock this out. I almost died.
For real, dude. So the series blends, like I said, multiple genres together, which is really, really cool. So the series features a lot of connections that cross over into other King's books, like The Stand, Salem's Lot, Insomnia. All that stuff. It took him 30 years to complete the 8-book series. He once joked that if he lived 300 years, he would never be able to end it. Never. So the Horn of Eld is like a mystical artifact that's in the stories, and it's compared to like King Arthur's Excalibur and stuff like that. So this is one of the parts that's really, really cool about the series because
I didn't realize he was this old.
I didn't realize he was this old either. I didn't until I started doing this research. But he started the book series when he was 34. So in 1982, he released the first book, The Gunslinger. Then he released the next one, The Drawing of Three, in 1987 when he was 39. And then 91 when he was 43, 97, 49, 2003, he was 55, 2004, he was 56, and then the other one in 2004, The Dark Tower. And then he went back to it in 2012 and did the Wind Through the Keyhole, which is in between Wizard of Glass and The Wolves of Kala when he was 64. So one of the cool things about it is that you get to see how not only does he mature, but his writing matures as well too, right? Because you become more experienced, right?
Yeah.
The more he's a writer, the more he becomes experienced.
You know, he got your favorite author got lucky.
What do you mean?
He had to go to the draft board for Vietnam, and they deemed him unfit for service.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had bad eyesight, high blood pressure, and one other thing wrong with him. So they're like,
and a lot of drugs, baby, a lot of drugs.
Lots of cocaine. And they deemed him like, no, you can't serve. So imagine if he actually did.
He would just come back with a bunch of manuscripts, dude. Just writing over there.
If he survived.
Oh, that's also true. So they say that there's not going to be any more books that come out. But I have this weird feeling, man. If he's this obsessed with it, I don't see him not coming back to it.
This really puts into perspective us as humans, how we think we're old in our 30s.
Oh,
even in our 50s.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Like, it's funny, right? Because, like, you're supposed to have your life together. But this guy, like...
It took him until he was 40.
Yeah.
Well,
literally.
34 to write his first.
Yep.
And then 40 is probably... Would you say his first... Was it a big hit? Or
the Gunslinger? Yeah, the Gunslinger... Actually, no, I take that back. The Gunslinger... The problem with the Gunslinger, it's the hardest book to get through because there's a lot of setup.
It's world building. I mean? It's world building.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't finish the series. I read this. A lot of people don't finish the series because they can't get through that first book.
Bro, just get yourself an AI. Ask it, hey, give me a synopsis of the Gunslinger.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Read the fucking book. It's so good. It's so... Don't ask. Don't you... Put it down. Exit out of that window and go read it. Because it's phenomenal. And I got to shout out Tom Oswald because he was the one that was like, dude, if you want to read a book series, like this is the book series you have to read because this is like his like opus, right? Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
And it absolutely is. Like I've absolutely loved it. Like I've read a lot of books. And but this is it's something else. And it's a lot. Like look at this thing, dude. Like it's a trek to get through, but if you can do it, man, it's so good. So that's my first recommendation. You want to give your...
Oh, you want my first?
You can, if you want.
All right.
If not, I can go to my second one.
Yeah, go to your second.
People are probably tired of listening to me, though.
Okay, I'll go.
All right.
So my first one is going to be... All right, everyone thinks it's Star Wars because of the name of it. Galaxy's Edge.
It's Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars.
It's Galaxy's Edge by Jason Anspach and Nick Cole. So the first book... Okay, it's very confusing. You're going to have to go to their website. There's an order to their books that they recommend reading in their order, not the order it was published.
Damn. Okay.
So there's the first book.
Must suck if you're like reading them when they're coming out.
Right. The first book was the first book, and then they said, I guess they had issues because it was written only by a single writer, a female writer. I guess they had issues. So they said, nah, it ain't the first book anymore. That's its own series. So I read the first book.
Okay. So they like trashed it almost?
Yeah.
Damn.
I read it. So yeah, it's confusing. Anyway,
Damn.
So the first book is actually going to be called, it's going to be called Savages, right? So essentially the book takes place in the future. Earth is gone from the charts, the space charts from the maps, right? Because what happened was Earth we kind of polluted and drove it to like nuclear war, right? So nuclear war happened. All these big wars were happening on Earth. And the issue was that it was becoming uninhabitable. So the reason the first book's called Savages, so first it follows, there's a lot of main characters, but the main character that it follows is Tyrus Rex, and it's Admiral Sulla. I call him, his name becomes Gothcellus later.
Is this it?
Yeah. So the first book is going to be, I guess I'll just read them all so people get a...
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've read all of them, bro.
You've read all of these?
Yep, swear on my life.
Fuck me.
Okay, let's scroll up to the top. So the first book, The Best of Us, that's no longer the first book.
Okay.
So the first book, like I said, is going to be Savage Wars.
Yeah.
The second book's Gods and Legionnaires. Third book is The 100. Fourth, Imperator. Fifth, Dark Operator. Sixth, Tin Man. Oh my God. Order of the Centurion. Requiem for Medusa. Chasing the Dragon. Madame Guillotine. Banshee's Last Scream. Iron Wolves. Forget Nothing. Legionnaire. Kill Team. Strikers War. The Reservist 2. Through the Nether. Wraith. Galactic Outlaws. Attack of the Shadows. Sword of the Legion. Prisoners of Darkness. Turning Point. Message for the Dead. Retribution. Take Over. Things Fall Apart.
And if we get 100 likes on this video, Javi will say these as fast as he can.
Yes.
Until he gets it right.
So there's 29 books. I didn't realize there was I bought all 29 of them.
And so this one's trash.
Yes.
The Best of Us
is trashed.
It's gone.
So it starts off Savage Wars. So the reason it's called Savage Wars, they don't tell you this. Okay, spoilers. All right. I gotta, there's, none of you are going to read all 29. Let's be real.
Go read them.
So it follows Tyrus Rex, right?
In our Amazon storefront.
Right, imagine. So it follows Tyrus Rex and Savage Wars, and they're on the capital planet. So essentially what happens is the Savages are, think Elon Musk, Bill Gates, all the smartest and brightest people. You know what they did instead of suffering on Earth? They got in their spacecrafts, their spaceships that were made in low Earth orbit. Think massive, like 15 miles long, like 100 decks, 100.
And that's a spaceship.
That's a spaceship. Yeah, like they're called light huggers because they're not they don't go the speed of light.
Oh.
So
okay.
all the rich elite, when all these light huggers, all the rich elite, all these the best, brightest scientists got on these light huggers and fled Earth.
Damn.
They left everyone else on Earth to die. So The Best of Us was supposed to tell you how an alien species came to Earth and was like, hey, we see your, Earth's gone. It's shit. Here's how to make faster than light engines for your spacecraft. So in Savage Wars, what happens is on their capital planet, the savages, that's what they call the rich elite, because the rich elite become savages because they've been in space at this point in time for like 1,500 years, 1,400 years. So their science knows no bounds. They've done anything and everything they can to extend human life. So most of these savages and their light huggers are immortal, or they figured out a way to live forever. Or not forever, but live for hundreds of years.
Damn. So
the ship that crashes on the main like capital world.
Yeah.
It is so essentially what the savages do is they'll go to a planet and wipe everybody out. Like doesn't matter because they're doing it for calories.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they're using normal humans as calories, right?
Okay.
Because in future books, some of the main characters in those books, like Captain Ford, he'll go to a planet and there's nobody there. But they'll find bones and civilization because the savages came and killed everybody. So everybody knows about the savages doing their ratings. And so the first Savage Wars, Gods and Legionnaires and the 100 are about the Savage Wars, which it's about how they defeated the savages, how they defeated the rich elite.
And how big are these books?
Like 500 pages, 600 pages.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the first book, so essentially they're fighting on the planet. It follows at this point in time, the galaxy is under one government. There are other species and stuff like that have their own governments, but they're still the main government. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're dropping in all the soldiers and everything to the planet to reclaim it from the savages, whatever. Well, everyone doesn't like Tyrus Rex. No, he hides himself a lot. He acts like everyone in the higher government knows who he is, but when he's in uniform, because he's captain, so he's like a colonel or General Rex.
Yeah.
Because you know what he does when he finds a planet with savages? He sends crust busters, which destroy the entire planet. So he doesn't, he's not going to send troops to try and retake planets. And then his best friend's Admiral Sullivan, or he calls him Sulla. So spoiler alert, after the first 3 books, it jumps like 1,000 years. Okay. To follow Captain Ford.
In the future, obviously, right?
Yeah, in the future.
Okay.
So which one? Imperator? Well, actually, Imperator follows Sulla because there's a force, right? So you can learn. It's not the force that you're thinking. Yeah. Because it corrupts you. So he goes.
Wouldn't that be the dark side of the force then?
Right? So the Imperator, he goes to a planet that nobody knows about because nobody knows how to get there but him, which is Sulla, not Rex, because Rex and Sulla kind of split because it's been 1,000 years since the Savage Wars. So they're not really... Because now the government's hunting Tyrus Rex because he's... Spoiler alert, Tyrus Rex and Admiral Sullivan, or Sulla, have been alive for 2,500 years.
What?
Tyrus Rex was there during when they first left Earth. Tyrus Rex was taught by, I think it was Green Berets that were still on Earth. And then he went and joined the Martian Light Infantry when they fled Earth. And him and his whole team, including Sulla, got captured by the savages, right?
Okay.
So you know what they made Tyrus Rex do?
What?
They injected him and Sulla how to be immortal. So you can kill them and they'll come back to life. So they would make Tyrus Rex be a gladiator inside their ship and make him fight. And anytime he died, he'd come back to life. So that's why the government doesn't like him, because he knows about all the bullshit and all the stuff, right? So after the Savage Wars, he makes a group called the Legionnaires, and they're like some of the best trained, whatever. Well, over time, it gets to the point where the government's like, it gets to the point where the OGs, the original Legionnaires, are old men and they're not in anymore. So the government starts changing them. So when the government starts changing them and like giving them different, because they kind of play with real life stuff, like how the militaries and how it used to be, how they even have like, they make jokes about West Point, like how these graduates who are graduating.
So it's our world.
Yes.
Right? But it's just
in the future.
Yeah.
Like how these guys are graduating like military colleges and stuff, or like West Point or like the Naval Academy, and they're coming out politicized just because rich families put them in. So they're changing what the Legionnaires are supposed to be. And when Tyrus helped to make the Constitution, he put a clause in there about the Legionnaires. Yes. He put a clause in there about the Legionnaires. If the government oversteps, him and the Legionnaires are going to go in and kill everybody.
Good God.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Dark Operator doesn't really follow Tyrus Rex or Sulla. It's world building.
We're on book 5, y'all.
Yeah. So Tin Man also doesn't. It follows actually a combat, not android, but a combat robot.
Okay, so you're not always reading about the same people?
No, but it's the universe because it's world building. Yeah. Because there's also a group called the Donks in there.
Okay.
They look like donkeys, but they're humanoid.
God, okay.
All right, hear me out, everybody. They are loosely affiliated with the Muslim population. Call to prayer.
Got it.
Suicide bombing. Yeah. Like the radical Muslim population.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then there's another group of like frog people. What so that's where it picks up in not Dark Operator. I think it's Legionnaire. That's where it picks up in Legionnaire is when
sorry.
You're good. Is when one of the, like, they're driving in a desert planet, which is like Afghanistan. Because I don't know if it's Jason Anspach or Nick Cole. I'm pretty sure it's Nick Cole. He was in the military. Where they're driving their freaking armored vehicles in a dirt planet. And there's kids playing on the side of a road. The frogs. They're humanoid frogs.
Yeah.
Playing on the side of the road, and the gunner notices one of the kids throw something at one of the vehicles, and he threw like a anti-tank grenade at the main vehicle, and then they get cut off, and then all this shit. Because what it does is it's tying in everything, because there's a lot of shit the government's doing that they don't tell you about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of crazy shit. Really good book series. If you're into a lot of like combat, a lot of fighting, a lot of death, Tyrus Rex is a savage because what he steals from the savages is a suit. Think of Master Chief's armor and Doomslayer's armor in one. You can't, if he's in it, you can't kill him. God. And he rolls around, dude, carrying 2 like belt-fed pistols that shoot fit, because you know how they moved over to laser weapons and shit.
Okay.
Nah, bro. Like, he uses conventional ammo, like 50 cal rounds in pistols.
That's crazy.
And then Imperator, that just follows Sulla, because Tyrus Rex knows that there's the force that he's trying to get. Because the force comes from the ancients, and the ancients knew how to tame it, but then there was kind of demons that kind of killed all the ancients. It's very like, I'm jumping around a lot, bro. It's 29 books, but yeah. So the only way to learn it, you're learning their force from the evil ones. And when Sulla goes and learns it, he turns into Goth Sullus. But Tyrus told them, hey, if you go and learn that, I'm going to be waiting for you on the planet right outside of there, because I'm going to fucking kill you. Even though they're best friends. Because he's like, if you learn that, you're going too far. And then it's kind of turns into a civil war and stuff like that. But really fucking good book series. One of my favorites. I would 100% recommend reading them, even though I know it's a slog. Or listening to the audiobook. R.C. Bray does an amazing job voicing Tyrus Rex. And how much that dude is a savage. Because it comes to a point where he has to like kill his own dudes. And like they go into the gory details.
Dude, that's crazy.
And then it even goes into the mind of like the savages.
Yeah.
Because some of them don't know they're in real life because they HUD it like a video game. So they're fighting and like they'll pop up a feast and they're eating, and then it'll go to the perspective of a legionnaire watching, and the savages are
like
actually
like a hologram thing or something?
Yeah, so the savages are actually eating people. The dead legionnaires are eating them because their bodies need calories.
Jeez.
And they don't realize that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff like that. And the leader of one of the savages, bro, guess what his uniform is?
What?
SS.
What?
Dresses like an SS, dude.
Oh, geez.
And they even have, like, if you do really good in combat, you get to go to Pleasure City. Oh. And it's like a Vegas, but you get whatever you want, whoever you want, eat whatever you want.
Man.
But there's a lot of, like, crazy stuff. And then, like, the Dark Operator series, it's basically, like, following their version of, like a Delta Force.
Yeah.
And them doing their little like missions and stuff like that, absolutely smoking people. Forget Nothing. It just gets into real like nitty gritty. You have to read them in order to understand what I'm saying. I gave you like some spoilers, but at the same time, it's like I didn't give you everything.
That's good.
So really good book series.
Damn. That sounds good.
I can ramble on about it, dude.
That's a lot of fucking books.
Because I don't even know where the fuck to start, man.
Yeah. That is crazy. That's wild.
And those are just the main books. They're coming out with more.
Like side stories?
Yes, because they're following Tyrus Rex for a while was a bounty hunter. Bro, if you've been alive for 2,500 years, you're number one in gunfighting, right?
For sure.
And he starts to lose some of his mind. He starts to forget things. So he's a bounty hunter for a while. And since he's invincible, he can't get like... I'm going to spoil one of the bounty hunter books. He can't get like a... sickness, right?
Okay.
So there's a plague out there that was a bioweapon that turns you into like a cyborg. But he falls in love with the girl bounty hunter who has that. So he's able to go on her planet and stuff because it doesn't affect him. So he falls in love with her and stuff. Well, one of the pleasure planets, they're called pleasure planets.
There's several of these.
Yes.
Okay.
They contract her out to do a hit, but they didn't tell her it was a hit. Because one of the rich elite guys actually had a fetish for like cyborg women. And he wanted her. So they basically kill her and everything. And Tyrus like finds her grave. and it's about him getting revenge. But there's a point where like, some legionnaires are working as military contractors or private security, and they ask when they're about to face him because they know they're gonna have to fight him. Like, do you think he'll spare us? And they're like, no.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And like, bro, absolutely fucking canoes heads, bro. That's such a good book series.
All right, my next series that I'm gonna jump onto is fun. It's a fun series, okay? It's fun, it's interesting, and that's the From a Certain Point of View series. Have you ever heard of this before?
No.
All right, I'm about to blow your mind. So if you remember when I want to say it was episode 5, Obi-Wan's ghost is talking to Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen fucking episode 5 from 1980 or whatever the hell it came out.
Yeah, at this point, it don't matter.
Yeah, right. So they're sitting there and they're talking, and Obi-Wan is telling Luke about Darth Vader and like how Obi-Wan didn't open up about how he knew who Darth Vader was, he knew who his father was, and he drops the line from a certain point of view. That's where this whole series comes from. Literally. But they do it in a fun way. So there's 3 books in total. There's the certain point of view, like Return of the Jedi. There's a certain point of view, The Empire Strikes Back, and then there's a certain point of view that follows the A New Hope series. Mm-hmm. They've only done those 3 so far. But it gives you different aspects from the storyline of Star Wars. So it could be like a fucking stormtrooper that's in the back that you see in one of the videos, or in one of the movies, and it shows you what happens after that or what happened before that. So the guy that says, or Darth Vader tells him, yeah, your lack of faith is whatever, right, and chokes him out. Like, you get a story about that. So it's a really, really unique perspective of background characters like stormtroopers, Jawas, Cantina Patrons. It's cool because you even get like, there's a story in there about the perspective of a mouse droid. It's super fun.
That's pretty cool.
It's really, really unique. The Empire Strikes Back one, so each one of these has about 40 new stories. So each one has about 40 stories. I mean, obviously you can see how the book, it's a little thick. But like the Empire Strikes Back one, you get the viewpoint from Lando's robot, the LEB-034D. It's like I don't even know what the hell that says. So the other, like you get to see like with the explorers, what it's like being a literal stuck-up droid. The first canon appearance of Willor Hood. I don't even know who that is. Oh, from the holiday special. Have you even seen the holiday special?
Nope.
It's trash. It was terrible. It was terrible, and they tried to hide it. Like Lucasfilm tried to hide it.
Damn.
Yeah, it came out after episode 4, I think is when it came out.
So, have you read the short story of Death Troopers?
No.
Not Death. I'm pretty sure it's Death Troopers.
The zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Bro.
I've heard.
Tangent real quick.
It's pretty good.
Tangent real quick. It's because, well, he's not Emperor Palpatine, is he anymore, right? Well, when he puts a new type of virus that they were supposed to take to a rebel planet, but it gets out, and so Han Solo and Chewbacca stumble upon the Star Destroyer just floating, and they're like, why isn't it shooting at us? Nothing. Yeah. So they fly in, and they're like, there's nobody here. What's going on, right?
Han Solo and Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they go in, and then it's very quiet, dead quiet, and I think Chewbacca or something, they drop something.
Yeah.
And that's when they see stormtroopers coming out with like broken helmets, like blood everywhere. And they're like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they brought zombies into like canon, right?
So that's what's up.
Oh, you haven't watched Ahsoka yet?
No. I need to finish. I haven't watched Ahsoka. I haven't watched freaking the show with the those stormtrooper Bad Batch.
Oh yeah, I haven't finished that one either. It lost me a little bit.
I heard at the end it gets really good.
Yeah, it lost me a little bit. That one did. But yeah, Ahsoka is fantastic. The Mandalorian.
Oh, which is better, Mandalorian or Ahsoka?
I think Ahsoka at this point, dude. Like,
oh, it's that good? Okay, I gotta watch it.
It's really, really good. But I'm just tired of like Grogu.
Where you're like,
are you gonna do something? Like anything else but jump?
Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah, like I'm just tired of that already. So the Return of the Jedi. Like I said, there's 40 stories in it. It features its first canon Ewok story. Yeah, so it follows a whole story about an Ewok, which is great. And the other thing that's cool about it too is that if you do the audiobook version of it, it'll have celebrity narrators like John Hamm and Adam Scott, which is cool to have that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. That's it. It's a fun book. It's an awesome read. It gives you, like I said, it just gives you a different perspective from a different point of view. You know what I mean? About like different things in Star Wars.
Well, stuff we've always wanted to know.
Yeah,
like
even like the bounty hunters. Like the bounty hunters that are there when they go to find, when they're going to go hunt down.
You know what I want to show about?
Han and stuff like that?
Clone Commandos.
Clone Commandos, yeah.
They made a video game about them.
Yeah, I remember the video game.
But I want to like show because...
Like a full show.
Yeah, they don't talk about the crazy... Because you know in Bad Batch, Clone Commandos make an appearance? Because they're kind of like... Because they don't have the Order 66 chip in them. Because they're different. So a lot of them are like, bro, what happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Damn, is it my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
All right, next book. It's torn between Strange Company or Forgotten Ruin, but we'll do Forgotten Ruin. So Forgotten Ruin, it follows Private Walker, but they call him Talker. So they're essentially a group of army rangers. A nano plague has hit Earth, has been unleashed by, they call her Spider Queen, but at the same time, they kind of loosely like the Chinese, whatever.
Does it?
Yeah, so there's 9 books.
Oh, 9 one's not out yet.
Yeah. Well, actually, it is.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm reading it right now. So it follows Army Rangers. They're going into the future with a time machine because they're trying to put them 10 years in the future after the nano plague hits, right? And they're doing Army Rangers. They're doing a group of Navy SEALs. They're doing a group of Night Stalkers, the helicopter pilots that are really good 160th SOAR, Green Berets. Like all of our elite military, they're sending into the future. Even like the president and like other people, right?
What? Okay. Like other elected officials?
Yeah. They're sending them into the future like 10 years because they're like, we need to rebuild America after this plague hits. So they send them. The book starts off with sending them. Well, it talks about Talker. They call him Talker because he is one of the best linguists in the world. Like he can any language he can speak in the world, right?
Okay.
And like so they send him. They're in an AC-130. They crash in like a swamp, not like a swamp, on a hill, and there's like a river, like a moat type, and forests. And they're like, "This is the future? Like, where are we?" Right? And so I believe that's when it's kind of nighttime comes. And they get assaulted by like a horde of orcs.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're like, what? Like, you know, they're fighting. Like, it's gory details, fucking shooting dudes in the head, dropping mortars on them, whatever. Well, that's when one of the nerdy dudes in one of the nerdy Army Rangers is like, this is like the game I used to play. And they're like, what game? God. He's like, Dungeons and Dragons. Those are orcs, bro. And like talking about that.
Yeah.
And so it's basically Army Rangers in Middle Earth.
Oh, and this is the same guy that did Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Anspach and Nick Cole. So they are Army Rangers, absolutely smoke. If you ever wanted to read about that, like, who doesn't, dude? Lord of the Rings with modern day weapons?
Yeah, it's literally.
Like smoking orcs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at one point, little spoiler, a rider covered in like a cloak and everything comes up. And they bring him in so they have something called the Forge. It can make anything you want. Guns, ammo.
Is it people?
Hey, what cigar is that? It can make that. What? Anything you want. Bro, they have it making dip for them. They have Talker. The authors kind of irritate me a little bit about this. They have him ramble on about coffee. It's so annoying. I mean, it's not annoying, but it gets annoying, you know? Oh, and then they like capture a little fucking goblin, right? They capture a goblin, and he's like learning. He speaks. So a lot of the orcs and everything, none of the regular army rangers understand what they're saying because they're speaking a mixture of Arabic, German, and Farsi.
What the hell?
Yeah, because so what happened was they actually went 2,000 years into the future. So the nanoplague is still active. So they always make jokes. The ruin reveals. So the nanoplague starts changing you into what you are. So one dude, there's an offshoot book for Sergeant Thor. He worshipped like the Norse gods and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it turns him into like he has a 50 cal sniper rifle called Mjolnir. Okay. Like the freaking hammer. Yeah, and so the nanoplague breaks down weapons, but the Forge can keep remaking them. Not for Sergeant Thor, because his weapon's magically enchanted. Oh. And then the freaking captain over the Army Rangers turns into a were-tiger. He's mad, and then like when they're starting to get hit hard and he starts to get like angry and stressed, he turns into a freaking tiger, dude.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty stuff like that. It's a really good book series. Probably like one of my personal favorites.
Is this like, are the books as long as here as they are in Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, like
that's the hard part. That's the hard part for people is that how big these books are. It's like, it's work. You got to get through them, man.
But honestly, listen to the audiobook, because the guy who does these isn't R.C. Bray, who does the other ones, but he really puts
emphasis,
like actual like personalities into the people he voices.
That's cool.
And so like real quick, the goblin, when they capture him, they do something with him, and one of them has a Coke, so they give him a Coke, and he drinks it, and like he burps, and he's like, moon god potion, give me more moon god potion. Yeah, and so it like he stays alive throughout the books, and he turns into an assistant machine gunner, where like they have him carrying like ammo cans, and they even give him like a broken helmet, and he writes on there "Born to Gob."
That is hilarious.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Oh, and the Navy SEAL comes. Oh wait, the cloaked guy, real quick, that I say he's in the first book, who comes riding to them after they first get into a fight. He's one of the Navy SEALs they sent, but he dropped in 50 years before they showed up. And then there's the something Kings. They ruled over like Europe. They were all the Delta Force dudes, because they dropped in 200 years before they got there. So all these special forces dudes built little kingdoms.
That's actually really cool, though.
Yeah, it's really awesome. All right.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is an actual book. So everybody was talking shit.
Those are book series, not
those
books.
are book series. This is an actual book, and it was probably...
I need to read it. I like it.
You have to, dude. You have to. And it's probably one of my most favorite, if not my favorite book. God, I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I'm not committed. I don't commit to that. Okay, I don't commit to that. One of my very many favorite books, Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary, published in 1983. A year later, was awarded the World Fantasy Award for Best Novel.
Is it a horror
book?
In
1984. Huh?
Is it a horror story?
Oh, yeah. The story follows the Creed family, Lewis, Rachel, and the kids, Ellie and Gage. And then they have a cat named Church that... Anyways, so they move to a house in rural Maine near an ancient burial ground. Because, of course, right? Their neighbor, Judd Crandall, warns Lewis about the pet cemetery in the woods behind their home, where children go and they bury deceased pets. But beyond that is another cemetery. And the cemetery back there, it's an ancient Micmac, right? Micmac burial ground, with powers to bring things back from the dead. So after their cat Church is killed, Lewis goes and buries it in the Micmac ground against Judd's warning. Judd's like telling this guy, like, don't do it, right? Surprise! Church comes back. And he is like changed, right? He's changed. He's like biting people now, scratching them. Yeah, like all kinds of things, right? And it's really cool because the book plays a little more on that. And there are other times in history that other people buried other animals in there too.
So that's why they're warning them.
That's why they're warning them. And in order to get to
nobody just puts their dead animal in the trash can?
I guess
I'm
not.
just
And Javi's like flushing a dog down the
right?
Get in there.
As long as he's small enough.
What do you call it? So, like, in order to get to that other cemetery, though, there's like fallen trees and stuff like that. And it said that God dropped those trees there
so
himself,
people can't get back.
So people wouldn't go back there. And people cross over it. You know, like, just read the signs. Anyways, have you ever seen Bruce Almighty?
Mm-mm.
Bruce Almighty. So he like, it's Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman's God. And he tells God, like, I could, if I had your power, I could do everything that I need to do for everybody like that. And so he goes, okay, you have my power now. And he's like, okay, I have your power now, right? And all of a sudden he starts realizing, right, that he does have God's power, right? And he does different things like prayers. Instead of him hearing prayers in his head, he like asks for them in sticky notes, right? And so like his house just explodes in sticky notes. And he goes, no, email, right? So then now he's emailing, right? And he like messes up, right? Because he gives everybody their wish, right? So everybody won the lotto and everybody, you know? And there's this one
crashes
scene,
the economy.
There's this one scene though where he's driving and he's like, God, if I need to go back, just give me a sign. And this truck pulls in front of him and it has a whole bunch of signs like don't turn this way, wrong lane, like, or like turn around or whatever it may be, right? And he's like, fucking car. turns around and goes around the car and crashes.
Bro, it's like that story where they were like there's a flood and the dude's praying for God to save him. So a boat pulls up. He's like, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me."
Yeah,
so the boat leaves, and then a helicopter comes.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." And then he drowns, and he asks God, "Why didn't you save me? I sent you a boat and a helicopter, dude."
Yeah, you need to take either one. So where was I? The book explores themes of like, oh, hold on, I'm skipping over the big part, man. The meat and potatoes of this thing. So tragedy strikes when Gage is hit by a truck. So this leads...
This is the boy, right?
Yeah, that's the boy. He leads Lewis to go and bury his son's body in the same ground, right? The Micmac.
Okay, hold on.
Ground.
Who allowed that?
Right, like my thought was like, how did somebody not try to find the body? But
are they like Houston, where they're like not zoned correctly?
No. What happens is that he just does it.
He just goes to bury his kid.
You gotta read the book. Gotta read the book.
Zoning laws, man, I tell you.
Yeah, right? You gotta read the book, man. And so King was inspired to write Pet Sematary after a traumatic experience when his daughter's pet cat was struck and killed on a busy road near their home in Maine. This coupled with his young son nearly being ran over himself on the same road. And it's kind of cool because the Dark Tower also talks about that. About his actual son. Almost getting hit. It's crazy. So after the cool part is that you go and you open this book and it starts with a letter from Stephen King. Like, and he talks about it and he says like, when I wrote this book, what his method was like he would write a book, he'd put it in a drawer, leave it there for a couple months, go back and then read it and see if there was anything. Yeah. And if it was, then he would send it to his publisher.
That's pretty smart.
So he wrote it, locked it away, went back and read it and was like, there's no way anybody's going to like publish this. Like there's no way. Cause it was just, it's demented, dude. Like there's a part, spoiler alert. There's a part where Gage goes to Judd's house, right? The old man goes across the street, goes to his house and is like, your fucking wife is burning in hell and she's fucking people down there. Dude.
Oh my God. Yeah. What does Judd do?
Yeah, like when you were in war, like she went and fucked your best friend and she always liked him more than you did. And then he kills him. Gage kills him. Dude, he's a kid. Yeah, dude. Dude, this book is fucked.
Whoa, hold on. Let me break that down. So he, how old is Judd or Gage?
Gage, he's a like
7.
Yeah, 7.
Bro, ding dong.
No, for
open
real.
the door.
No, he doesn't even do that. He hides in his house, and he hides in the stairs and takes a scalpel to his Achilles.
So he falls.
Yeah, dude, this book is crazy.
I keep a gun on me even in my house, kid.
For real, dude. Dude, I'm telling you, if there is a Stephen King book to read, this is one of them. This has to be high on the list.
Your wife's getting 5 weight in fucking hell.
It's terrible, dude.
What the fuck?
It's bad.
How do you know that?
Yeah, for real. It's crazy, dude. So after King pulled it out and read it and, went through all that, right? He was like, there's no way anybody's going to publish it. So he locked it away for 3 years. And was like, so at that time, he had to deliver a final book to his former publisher, Doubleday, to satisfy his contract because he needed to give him one more book with the contract had. So he pulls out the book, gives it to his wife, and is like, "Can you read this and tell me, what do you think?" She read it and she was like, "This is good, like for your genre, this is amazing. People are gonna love this. People are gonna eat this up." So he's like, "All right, I'll turn it in the editor," and the editors were like, "No, this is going to print, dude. Let's run with it. Let's do it.
This is too good."
So they do, right? So they go, they print it, and it is an awesome book. It is an awesome book, but the town called Ludlow is also in the same region as Derry and all that. And Derry is it. So it's all in that area, and he also does show up in this book too.
You know, Stephen King's net worth?
No.
500 million.
Really? Jesus Christ, man. I mean, get it in, man, all right? Jesus.
Maybe we should just start writing books, bro.
Should start writing books.
We read enough to know.
We just need one hit.
Honestly.
One to hit.
Well,
you want to do this, or you want to do your last one first?
We can talk about cigars real quick.
All right. What do you think? How's it going?
Honestly, Ligas are always good,
L40, bro. L40
I hate that Club
good.
Can't get these in.
Yeah, they don't get them in very often. I haven't seen them in years.
No.
Now.
I got this one in Florida. Oh, so, yeah, I went to a cigar shop in Florida. I forget their name. It was in Destin. It's one of the Harbor cigars. I don't think they're female owned, but their manager's a female.
Okay.
And the girl working the cash register is a female, right? Or a woman. Most of the time, you go into a cigar lounge and it's very rare to find women working there, and especially women that enjoy cigars. So she we were shopping around and she was like, "Hey, you need any help? Let me know." It's like, okay, cool, whatever. So shopping around, and when I grab it, bro, I got 2 L40s, some Davidoff Dominicanas.
Yeah.
No, not Dominicanas. I'm sorry. Some Davidoff.
The Maduros? Or?
They're the darker, not the Maduros. They're the other ones that they regularly have that are dark.
The late hours?
No, not the late hour. Hold on, audience, please don't scream at me. I'll pull it up right now. So
Shane.
Anyway, basically we go in there, and I also get some black honeys. Yeah, those cigars are pretty damn good.
They're hard to find, right?
Yeah, very hard.
That's cool.
I get some of those. Bro, do I not? I swear to... Get out of here. I swear to God if I don't have a picture. I know I do here somewhere. Anyway, I get some Davidoffs. I get some other stuff. And then she starts smoking too. And she looks at what I'm buying. She's like, "Oh, I like your taste. You have really good taste."
Well, that's cool.
And I was like, "Damn, you actually smoke cigar." And it was just very refreshing because you know how most of the time, not to be a butthole about it, but when there's men working behind the counter and stuff like that, they're not always friendly.
Yeah,
they're just kind of
you don't know the club, or if you don't know where you're
they're just kind of cool. Get out.
Next.
Yeah, exactly. But she was trying to make conversation. That's and cool. "Oh, where are you from?"
From when we started smoking cigars to now.
Mm-hmm. More friendly?
More women.
Yes, thank God.
Way more women smoking cigars.
I'm not shouting out CI. I am not. But they have a women's night now?
Really?
Where they try and get women in from 6 p.m. to midnight so they can network and connect and smoke cigars together.
That's cool. That's cool.
I know.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
I know at Hebner, they were trying to do that because when when I was smoking with Cassie at one time there, a woman came up to us, and was like, "Hey, we always have like a women's meeting where we all smoke cigars and just hang out. You should come to one because we need more women in the cigar space." And I agree. I think having women in the cigar space is a very good thing.
Yeah, and then fun fact, women's bodies can naturally take
more nicotine
than men. Yeah, that's just natural fact.
Yep, my wife likes to smoke more Maduros than anything.
It's because Javi's.
Because I'm so brown.
Shut up. That's not where I was going, but what do you call it? But
and she can finish them. Look at me. No, right? I can't even.
Shout out Zach, always making fun of Javi not finishing his cigars. The tobacco nut's always good, dude. It's a light shade, it's Connecticut shade, but it's always good. Like even I had the Club Humidor 25th anniversary, and it's a Connecticut too. Something that Matt Booth does, man, just makes them. It's the one with the like light blue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That one. I was like, I thought I had it up here.
He knows how to make them.
Dude, he knows how to make really good light cigars, flavorful. A lot of times when I get a Connecticut or something like that, I feel like it tastes like just burnt leaves. That's weird to say because they're all burnt leaves, but that's all it tastes like, and I hate it.
And little fact about Liga is they're not meant to be aged.
Yeah,
they're meant to be smoked right off the rip. Because they say the longer you age them, the more mellow the flavors get, and it's not going to be as good.
Well, even with like Connecticut's, like you shouldn't age Connecticut's very long either, because they'll lose their flavor.
Get too mellow.
Quicker.
It's like aging a Davidoff, Connecticut Davidoff.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense. Like once you get it, smoke it.
Oh, we should.
And all your good stuff.
We should do a study. We should both buy like a box of Samparai and just let them sit.
Oh.
And see how good they get.
Yeah, come back to us in 5 years. Make sure you subscribe. All right, Javi.
Last book.
Yeah. What do you rate your cigar?
Honestly,
give him a rating.
Like an 8.
Yeah. I the tobacco knot for me is probably a 9. It is. Not just because I love Matt Booth, because I do love Matt Booth. He's fucking awesome, dude.
He's a cool guy.
But I genuinely, because I don't like all the cigars that he has. I don't. Not all of them, but like he has more hits than misses.
The Durum is really good.
The Durum is very good.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah. I think. Did you try the tobacco knot?
Cassie has.
Yeah, she likes him.
Yeah,
I remember she likes him a lot. So that's cool. But I have to turn Javi lid on little, man. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll smoke some Room 101.
Yeah. All right, Javi. Take us home. What's the last one?
Guess who wrote the last one?
Oh God.
It was Nick Cole, not Jason Anspach this time. Just Nick Cole. So it's called Strange Company. And so Strange Company follows a private military contracting company. And the main character is Sergeant Orion. So there's only 2 books out for this one so far. But let me tell you.
Voodoo Warfare?
Yes.
Bro, that sounds great.
I'll explain it. So this book series is, if you like just raw combat, Nick Cole, I don't know exactly what he did in the military, but he has a way of explaining like dudes getting their heads canoed and stuff like that. And it's not like the good guys always win. Nah, like the good guys actually, he leaves a gray area because the Strange Company, since they're a private military contracting company, they sometimes work for the bad guys, not the good guys. And it's kind of really gray area. So essentially the book starts off where
that's fun though.
It is very fun.
That's fun to be able to read when somebody's also on the bad side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Sergeant Orion, it starts off with them being on a planet called Crash. So the reason that planet's called Crash or Astralon.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. This is also science fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
Sci-fi military.
Okay.
So the reason it's called Crash is because a giant alien spaceship crashed on that planet. To the point it created like a Grand Canyon. And it's still there, right? So it's off limits.
So it's like Star Destroyer size.
Basically, yeah.
Shit.
So it's off limits to like the general public. Well, anyway, the reason they're fighting on there is because there's a civil war against so they're not a part of the loyalists. The loyalist government, there's a group called the Monarchs, which are, think of like our government right now, but there's no voting.
Oh, okay.
So it's totalitarian, I guess.
Yeah. Always in power.
And they're always in power. And guess who's only on Earth? Them, the monarchs. They get the best medical care. They get the best they kicked everyone off of Earth.
Jesus.
They have a military, the monarchs, called the Ultras, the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines have their own planet. And you can go into a recruiting office for the Ultras, but you have to take your first test you take on the computer is a personality test.
Okay.
So it talks about so Orion and Talker from the previous book series I was talking about, they are the recorders for the units that they're with. So they're the ones, you're basically reading their journals.
Damn.
And what they've seen and gone through.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So, essentially, one of the guys, part of Strange Company, tried to be an Ultramarine. And when these results came back, the recruiter was like, nah, you're too soft. Look, you have too much, you care about people too much, so you can't be one. So you have to be like an absolute savage to be an Ultramarine.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the loyalist government's fighting for the monarchs. The Strange Company, they're fighting against the monarchs with the rebels. Anyway, so fighting, lots of combat, whatever. Well, it gets to a point where they're fighting over an airfield. So Orion's best friend, his name's Hauser, okay? He's a combat android. So he talks like Arnold, like Terminator Arnold.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he talks like Terminator Arnold. He looks like a human, but he is... So the combat androids were made by the monarchs to quell like riots and stuff, but they got Hauser, so they all have nukes in them, the combat androids. So when you kill them, nuke goes off.
Oh,
but his clock is on the last like 5 seconds, but like they got it stopped. Anyway, so the book, they're fighting over an airport at this point, actually the spaceport, all right? And they're kind of starting to lose because... Let's be real, the loyalists are getting government funding from the military, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the middle of the book, what happens is an Ultra battle spire jumps in.
Spider?
Spire.
Oh, Spire.
So think of the biggest spaceship I talked about earlier, 20 miles, but bigger. And they are able to fight like they have enough armament and weapons for the Ultramarines on there to fight for 5 years without having to go and resupply. And there's no technology, there's no spaceships as good as what the monarchs have. Because they use something called mem. So mem is a currency, right? But it's also something you use to power your laptop, to build your laptop, to... Oh. So their currency also has a use. So anyway, the Ultras jump in and they do something called first pass. So even if you're on their side, which the loyalists are, they kill you. So when they do first pass, they wipe out everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. So the book is about Orion and his guys, because one of the monarchs is rebelling against the monarchs. So she is helping them. Well, so the book's about them trying to get off planet, but then they have to go to the crash, right? So they go to the crash, and that's when Orion figures out what the monarchs have been hiding, is that spaceship that crashed is the Enterprise, not from
Star Trek.
Yeah, but like from Star Trek, where it was supposed to, traveled so fast it went into the future, and then it came back and crashed, right? But nobody knew that.
That sucks.
Because it was such space age technology. Well, they mixed in a little bit of Planet of the Apes in this shit, because when they jump to the future, guess who is ruling society? The apes. And they're called the Simia. So
it doesn't tie into Planet of the Apes in any way, does it? Oh, that'd be cool.
Written on the wall in there is the only good human is a dead human. Because the Simia, they breed like that in this series. So in that ship, they were living in that ship. That's why it was off limits. There's like 1 million of them in there. So when Orion's going through there to escape, it turns into them fighting, whatever. Well, they get off planet. Lots of fighting. Lots of freaking people dying. Whatever. Well, they go to their ship and they have a 30-year sleep in cryostasis because their jump drive is broken. So to get to the next planet is going to take 30 years, but not for everybody else. So in voodoo warfare, Oh, the reason they're called strange company is because the monarchs experiment on people. So they have like basically people who are experimented on who have powers. So like they have a little girl that they got from the monarch labs who, when the fighting gets too intense and she starts getting scared, basically Doom Marine comes out of a portal and starts killing everybody for her.
Jeez.
And you can't kill them. Like they've tried. But anyway, so they jump. I mean, they go to sleep, and then Voodoo Company jumps 30 years in the future, where the Simia and the monarchs are not the main monarchs, but that one monarch are aligned, fighting the monarch government, and it's like them fighting on the ultramarine planet.
That's pretty cool,
and it's pretty brutal, honestly.
I mean, that's what makes it fun, though, right?
It is. It's very brutal. Very good book series, but I'm leaving out a lot because the combat is just crazy. Like, dudes getting on fire. Talks about like them freaking dying from being on fire. Hauser, when he's like, he's a combat android. They give him the machine gun with like all the belts of ammo and absolutely kills people. Talks about the ultras and how good they are at canoeing people and how their armor's like Spartan armor, like 300, but like futuristic.
Yeah.
And they have like body shields. Yeah. Stuff like that. Really good book series.
That's cool. I like that stuff.
Do you have any other books? Just don't talk about them, but honorable mentions.
You got to read it. It's a big book. Like, it's big. It's the ending scene that everybody talks about. That's famous, right? The kids, the kids in the thing, because they are kids, like they are.
Why did he do that?
It's a little uncomfortable. But the rest of the book is fantastic.
Why did he write that in there?
I don't know.
We should ask Perplexity.
Like, I don't know what the point. I don't know what the point was. Why did you do that, Steven? It's probably the cocaine. Probably is what it was.
Yeah, because while you're looking up why he did that, my book would be probably Going Home. It's an apocalyptic book. An EMP goes off. Doesn't say who did it, and it's about one man trying to get back home to his family. There's 10 books so far for that. He tries to get back home to his family, and he's walking because an EMP destroys all vehicles, and it's just lots of violence and all that stuff, and how humanity, we're 3 meals away from Armageddon.
Oh yeah.
So it talks about how, like, your neighbor who's the nicest guy who has a wife and kids, well, what he's willing to do once he starts seeing his kids starving to death. Oh, and real quick news update, they found the bird flu in the wastewater of Austin. So they're saying people have it.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. A metaphor.
It's an act as a symbolic representation of their transition from childhood to adulthood. King's own statement explains his intent behind the scene. The sexual act connected childhood and adulthood. It's another version of the glass tunnel that connects the children's library and the adult library. Times have changed since I wrote the scene, and there is now more sensitivity to those issues. Wait a minute. The graphic depiction, underage characters engage in sexual activities has...
Yeah, I think it was a little wild that he kind of put that in there.
Yeah, and I don't like...
I even don't get, like, back then. Like, I don't think there's just...
Yeah, even back then, I was like, I don't think back then... I don't know, dude.
I mean, why couldn't he do something else about them maturing? Not them freaking doing...
But, like... It's never said that she was SA'd by her dad, but it's alluded to. And her dad's the only person that she has. And so it's also, and I'm not like condoning this out because I think the book could have done without it, but I'm just trying to see it from King's perspective. That was the only way that she was ever shown affection.
So that's how she thinks.
That's how she thinks affection is supposed to be shown. And you know what I mean? Like, it's that, like, just fucked up scenario.
Yeah.
Which we know is a real thing, right? Like, that really does happen in real life, right? Mm-hmm. When people are SA'd, like, especially at a young age, a lot of times, like, it just fucks with you that way, right? In your brain.
Course,
and so,
100%.
So I think the Harry Potter series also has to be seen the books are much more gory than.
Oh yeah, the books are amazing.
Yeah, and they're not gory, but they're a little rougher than the movies, obviously, right? But that's a really, really good series. Goosebumps? No, sure.
There's another book series that I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Oh no!
But it also follows. I'm honestly thinking Nick Cole was an Army Ranger because a lot of stuff.
I wonder if you've never looked him up.
I think he was. I
wonder if he
forgot.
just doesn't talk about it. All right, Javi. So, which one of my 3 books are you thinking about that you would go read? I feel like you would read all 3 of them, honestly.
Yeah, and
but which one?
Pet Sematary specifically. Yeah. Because isn't it a Wendigo or Skinwalker?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna talk about it, but yeah, it is. That's what is trying to find a body to be able to come back from the Micmac.
I think it's
it's fun.
He lives in Maine, doesn't he?
Stephen King. Yeah.
So then, isn't that like one of the biggest folklores, Wendigo?
You know what? I don't know.
Because it's right there with Canada and stuff
that
like
would make sense. That would make sense. But I think he just, and it's so funny because me and Stephen King probably would not be friends.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Because we just have very different views.
You know what I hated about one YouTuber did? A gun YouTuber.
Oh,
he's not that big anymore, but
yeah.
he lined up all his first edition Stephen King books once he found out he was anti-gun and shot him.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you do
it's
that?
like the whole thing that you have to separate the art from the artist.
Yes.
Kind of thing, and he's a good writer. I would go have him sign a book.
Oh, yeah.
Because I enjoy his books that much. The Dark Tower series, dude, I'm so excited to finish it because I'm almost done. I'm on the last book. But I'm also not excited to finish it because it's so fun, dude. It's so fun. It's like watching a really good movie or a really good TV series, you know?
Oh, damn. There's also another book that was pretty good.
So Pet Sematary for you?
Oh, yeah. What about you?
That's the one. I like the last one, dude.
Hell yeah. Strange Company.
One. Yeah, dude. That sounds
honestly,
that sounds really fun.
I would push you to read that more than anything because Galaxy's Edge gets a little confusing. Forgotten Ruins good, but a lot of world building.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, and that's what, and you know what? And when people say oh well, I don't like reading, that's the hard part. That's the hard part is the world building. But yeah, get an audiobook. I'm just 90 years old, and that's why I like.
Bro, I love Strange Company so much. I was gonna get a tattoo that alludes.
For real?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
That should have been my number one.
One of the things in the book's the red rose, and so I have rose bushes now, and that's all I think about every time I see it. But yeah, I think it's awesome. But y'all, let us know what you think. Or if there's book recommendations you have for us, put them down in the comments and let's do it. That's something that we're obviously. Right? Javi read a 29 book series.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We really enjoy books. We enjoy reading them. So, I think that's about it for us here. But if you have any comments, drop them down below. If there's anything that you're looking for, I think we do have an Amazon storefront, to be honest with you, Javi.
Oh, shit.
I think we really do. And if we do, and I figure out how to use it, you'll be
able to... hold on. What would you smoke with your 3 books?
Oh. What would I smoke with my 3 books? Dude, I don't know. I'm thinking I need something that, you know what? What's that cigar called? The Cowboy or whatever? Sinestro? Or something like that? They have one called the Cowboy. I think that's fitting. It's the
very
gunslinger,
fitting.
You know what I mean? That's what I would smoke there. I would have to do something, I don't know why, but I would have to do something like a Halloween cigar from Tatuaje.
Oh, yeah.
With the Star Wars ones. And then with Pet Sematary, probably also a Halloween cigar. Because you just got to fit them in there. You know what I mean?
Wayward Galaxy, I'd probably do the Samurai Churchill A because it's going to take forever to get through that book.
Yeah, for real.
Second book, Forgotten Ruin. Probably smoke a pipe.
Oh, okay.
And then third, Strange Company.
Strange Company. You just need something that's out of this world delicious for it. You know, you
probably
need
that. Have you told the viewers what we got a box of?
No, actually, we didn't. We didn't even talk about it. We're supposed to talk about it this time. You know what? We'll talk about it next podcast.
Yeah,
because it fits.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should show them. Hey, look what we got.
Yeah. Well, make sure you come in the next podcast. And this is going to be for our cigar viewer side of the stuff. We're going to have the founder and owner, Pete Johnson, on here, and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm even like, how am I going to dress?
Oh my, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to dress just like this. So sorry, Pete. Or Mr. Johnson? What do I call you?
We'll ask him before.
Yeah, I know, right? No, we got to put that in there, man, because that's hilarious. So we're going to have that next podcast, so make sure you tune in because it's going to be phenomenal. You're going to see Javi fangirl so hard, and it's going to be so good.
I'm going to fangirl so hard I might not even talk.
For real. And I'm very excited for it. So obviously we're very thankful for Pete wanting to come on here. Soon we'll have Matt Booth is going to come on and do it. Matt Booth is just so busy. Not saying that Pete Johnson isn't busy because they're both constantly busy. So the fact that they even cut, they
own like what,
or whatever,
two of like some of the best cigar companies.
Some of the biggest too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're constantly working. And so that's cool. But we're going to get the podcast about Pete Johnson. The podcast that Pete Johnson's going to be on. We want it to be about Tatuaje, but we also want it to be about Pete Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, we want to know who the man behind Tatuaje is, why Tatuaje, I mean, just everything, right? Like, so tune into that podcast because it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't think so.
Right? That's about it. So, other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Check out our Patreon. Go find us on TikTok because we're still doing it. Once we get 1,000 followers on TikTok, we're going to give away 10 cigars, a box of cigars. This is a box of cigars. It's a free box of cigars to you. And all you got to do is go subscribe for free or go follow us for free on TikTok. Watch some of the videos, like them, check out all that stuff. Make sure you comment down below. We want to know what you guys think. We want to know what are the books y'all are reading right now that we should be reading, and are there any of these book series you're going to jump into or any of the books you're going to read, even if it's just one out of the series. But other than that, we are out of here.
Yes.
All right.
See you guys later.
Bye.